I really want to just talk about the difference between performance and self-growth. This is something I've become acutely aware of very recently. It's trying to understand which way's forward. And in life we get so performance orientated, particularly often in jobs, or we're doing some kind of project as an engineer and a small business owner. I'm always looking at strategy and mentally mapping and planning on which way is forward. And so there tend to be a series of decisions, endless series of decisions that compound and impact on one another. And when we try and apply that model to our lives, it gets infinitely more complex because there are just so many infinite variables, and they keep changing constantly, and they can change at the last moment and completely mess up your plans. And so I've spent some time interrogating my higher self, if you like, trying to connect to more to my guidance and look for the way forward. And something I was shown with mental imagery is that our guides, for example, they are discrete entities, is something that I was getting. My guide is a discrete entity, as I am, in that I may contain all possibility, but I am still see myself as a discrete being. But I also have a connection to the divine, as does my guide. So my guide is there to help me, but he's not an object, so he's not something I can utilize. He's not something that my energy can grasp and control and try to use him to plug the gaps or sweep the floor, do whatever it is I need doing. But that's a very human response, isn't it? It's how we might respond to another human. Help me here, I need some help. What my guide was showing me is that the way forward is not any one particular thing. It's not even opening a door. It's not even picking a pathway as such. It's about self-growth, self-blossoming. And I say blossom because I very much see that imagery of our energy centers, our chakra centers opening up and allowing more flow of energy, more color, more vibrancy. And as that happens, so we become more complete, and so there are more possibilities open to us. And we don't need to define one particular door. As such, we start to see a greater picture, bigger purpose, and we may even change our own plans, our own directions, our own desires can radically change just with a change of energy, of understanding who we are. Perhaps we're trying to impress someone in our lives and we feel it's essential to impress that person, and then ultimately we connect with our true self and think, I don't care about them, it's about myself I need to worry about. And that realigns that relationship. So I just want to share that with you because it's something that, although I could understand perhaps intellectually, experiencing it, I think it's something I hadn't learned, because that's why I experienced it. I experienced it in a visceral way through meditation and relaxation, in the same way I just experienced a very slippery floor, nearly experienced hitting the floor. It was something that taught me, something impressed upon me, and I feel different for seeing it. Now I've seen that, I can understand, okay, there may not be an obvious way forward here. It may just be that I'm going to feel stuck chasing my tail for a while, never seeing any chance to break out of this pattern. But within that's an opportunity to grow and understand who I am, become a fuller version of myself. And then it may be obvious to me that I'm not really trapped at all. I'm actually exactly where I'm meant to be, and I can use that experience as a training ground, or a retreat, if you like, to expand myself and be a fuller version of myself. And that fuller version of myself makes the world a better place for me and for others. I believe we are all meant to contribute. I like the saying I heard, we need to have our heads in the forest and our hands in society. I think that's a good wisdom. I hope I've shared my experience with you well enough that you can share in that learning.